Hey, I got synchronized this week, you guys. It takes a little bit, right? A little learning curve, right? I don't know. Did you guys see my quote last week? Um, just think of your mistakes as an opportunity to learn. Stop beating yourself up for mistakes. Okay. Well, my name is Crispina French, and I am a textile upcycling um, entrepreneur, artist. I'm a podcast host, and I also am hosting a super exciting event coming up in April. You guys, I just have to tell you about it. Mark your calendars. It's April 12th through the 14th, and it's the Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Summit, Rags to Riches Summit. So it's a 3-day event. It's free. You guys can attend for free. And it's going to really, the whole idea is to kind of help people who are textile upcycling entrepreneurs build businesses that are like rocking, paying them enough, fun to run. People are loving your stuff and that you're able to make a really good living with your business. So mark that on your calendar. And then also, I want to just let you know that today, every Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon, I go live right here on the socials, and I love to share little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way about textile upcycling. And I'm kind of an OG like upcycler person. I started doing this back in 1987. I was a college student, and I've been doing it ever since, and I built a business that it's had a lot of different incarnations. For 22 years, I ran a company that was I employed 40 people, and I manufactured blankets, rugs, clothing, and accessories for all different kinds of people: men, women, kids, everybody. I mean, people, bodies. And I think that was before I knew the word non binary, but I was making non binary clothing back in the 1990s. And I realized about, I don't know how long ago, but I realized that I wasn't going to be able to change the world single handedly with my little business. So I thought, you know what? I need to write a teaching book. I need to get the word out. There is this amazing treasure trove of materials that are so affordable that we can use to create beautiful new things. And we can also do that while serving the environment. And those materials are used clothing, right? Like in our culture in the United States, we discard a whole lot of clothing. And we are going to talk about that today because I have gotten a bunch of questions over the last few weeks about what do I do with clothing that is past its prime? Stuff that I can't recycle it. In the thrift stream, it's not wearable, it's tattered, it's stained, it's torn, whatever. So I wanted to answer that question. And I also just wanted to ask if you have a way that you pass along clothing or textiles in general, whether it's, towels, sheets, clothing, textile like manufacturer's waste. If you are a textile upcycler and you have a business and you want to put your link in the comments, please do that. Let us know too. Where are you located? Are you selling your stuff online somewhere? Because links are cool and people love to support other upcyclers. So it's a great way to just start thinking about any gift giving you might be doing later in the year. And thinking about where you put your money is a really important part of making textile upcycling a really viable avenue for good business practices, right? Like we need to also support each other with purchasing products that are made with recycled materials. All right, with all that said, let me know, where are you tuning in from? If you're a textile upcycler, share a link. If you're not a textile upcycler and you know somebody who is, who really needs to get their product out there because it's amazing and you love it, share that link. Share links. It's a great thing to do to just promote each other, right? So, okay, this week I want to answer that question. What do I do with clothing? How do I donate clothing and know that it's going to be used? I hear a lot of people will talk about, oh, the thrift stream, like a lot of clothing that's donated out of season gets trashed, whatever. And honestly, I'm just going to tell you about what I know. And if you have other knowledge that you would like to share, again, please do post in the comments. It's really helpful to have other people's experience and input just to share the knowledge, right? So, I live in Western Massachusetts in the northeastern part of the United States, and where we live, we have Goodwill stores and we have Salvation Armies, and we also have Savers. And so those are like three kind of large volume thrift store chains, if you will. And you can bring your discarded clothing to these places, and there's a bunch of tips that I like to share. So if you are donating shoes, fix them together. If they have laces, tie the laces together. If they are buckle shoes, buckle them so they're not going to fall, they're not going to get separated and become useless. If they don't have buckles or laces, you can tape them together. You can use like a cable tie or a piece of string, like just make sure they're paired together so that they're remain useful. And if you have garments and you're a crafty person with a little extra time on your hands, garments that are torn or have holes or whatever, mend them, because people are going to buy them and they're going to want to wear them. And a lot of people who are not crafty will not buy a piece of clothing that's not immediately wearable. So if you have the skills and you want to do something good for the environment, that is going to be a whole lot more fun than doom scrolling your social media in the evening. Patch a pair of jeans, or hem them, or whatever they need. If it's, and if that's just way too much, like I am not going to do that, that is way too much for me, it's okay to donate clothing that is in pretty close to wearable condition to the Salvation Army. With that said, there is a lot of clothing out there that is not wearable, stains, whatever. And there's kind of two different ways that those things are handled. Sometimes, depending upon where you donate those things to, if you donate to the thrift stream, the unwearable clothing is sorted separately from the stuff that they put out on their floor, and it goes to there's a whole network of businesses in the United States and Canada, and I'm pretty sure that they exist all over the world, where they're called garment graders, and they're actually wholesale dealers in used clothing. So a lot of those companies make like rags. Like sometimes you can go to a hardware store and you can buy a bag of rags. Well, generally those come from the thrift stream. Those are made out of torn, stained, damaged clothing that's no longer wearable. And there's also other industries that use different types of fabric for kind of crazy and diverse things. Like, I'm going to talk about the huge uptick in synthetic fabric construction. But when I got started, most things had, cotton, wool, linen, like, polyester, tons and tons of polyester and acrylic. But generally, if things are a single fiber, they're much more easily recycled. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing stuff. Like even if you're purchasing at the Goodwill or Salvation Army or your thrift store, anything that's a single fiber is going to have a lot longer lifespan in the thrift stream than stuff that is like a mixture of fibers. And anything that's completely synthetic is completely plastic. And if you're thinking about microplastics and you're thinking about the whole like lifespan of your garments, you just try to steer clear of stuff that's made out of synthetic fiber. And there's a million reasons why synthetic fibers are great for some people. Some people are super sensitive. Some people have allergies to wools and animal hair fibers. So, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you that you're doing anything wrong. I'm just here to tell you what I know and what works for me. So don't, just know. Take whatever you find valuable and leave whatever does not resonate with you from anything that I share. It's just to help. Only, that's the only my modus operandi is to really help people understand how to diminish and reduce their textile waste. So before you go and donate stuff to your local thrift stream, you could call them and just say, hey, I have a bunch of stuff that's not useful as clothing, and I'd like to make sure that it doesn't go in the landfill. What do you recommend? And they will let you know. Oh, you know what? We actually are just going to throw that in our dumpster. Or they'll say, wow, that's awesome, because we have this partnership going on with this other company, this garment grading company, and they pick up everything that we can generate that's not wearable. And they, the garment graders have different, end desires. Like some graders will separate everything by fiber content and then sell bales of sweatshirts made out of cotton polyester blends or denim jeans or, polyester blouses or whatever. So they'll separate it all out and create higher value product that is bales of used clothing. And then there are clothes that, certainly in my house with my two teenage daughters who are horseback riders and my husband who's a plumber tree guy. We definitely have clothing that is just tattered. So we actually have this system in our house where we, when something gets damaged in such a way, we'll use it for rags. We do a lot, at first they start in the kitchen as rags, and they might go to the basement as rags, and they wind up in the barn as rags, and then at some point in time they actually do get tossed into the trash. But we don't use paper towel, and we have, kitchen, we dry our dishes with, fabric, and we use fabric napkins. So there's we're not taking on the costs, both the financial costs, the money costs at the grocery store for those products, and we're also not creating a constant stream of like single use stuff. So that is what we do in our house. But I want to also circle back around to some of the people who have contacted me with this question: what do I do with this stuff? I don't know how to recycle it, and I don't want to throw it away. So I have a membership organization, and sometimes we are lucky enough to have people who are members of Stitcherhood on my live streams. Are you anybody out there? Let me just see. I'm scrolling back, but I don't want to take too much time. But Stitcherhood is a membership organization. You can join for free. It costs $10 a month, and if it's valuable to you, we encourage you to stick around. And if you can check it out for a 7-day free trial if it's not valuable to you. I certainly don't want people who are not engaged by the community hanging around, but we have this amazing group of people that gather there, and they are really excited about other people's textile waste. So I will create scrap from my making process in my studio, and I post it in Stitcherhood, and I say, hey, if somebody wants this box of scrap, I'll take a couple pictures, post those up there, and willing to pay shipping. I will send this out to you tomorrow. And that kind of exchange happens often, and our membership really flipping loves to have that kind of thing available to them. So people make rugs. The potholder rugs that I make are made out of kind of really crappy clothing. So anything that's stretchy, t-shirts, leggings, even socks, tights, sweats, whatever, any kind of stretchy fabric can actually be made into a potholder rug. So there are people in Stitcherhood who love to make potholder rugs. So depending upon, your volume, what kind of fabric you have, if they're t-shirts or, if whatever, you can go into Stitcherhood, which you can find from my website. My website is Crispina, like my first name, .eco. And on the top navigation, you'll see a Stitcherhood, which is that membership. So you can click there, and you can, you'll have to join, and you'll have to put in a credit card number, and you can totally very easily unsubscribe before your card gets charged after that week-long free trial if it's not your thing. If you have any issue with that process of oh crap, I forgot to unsubscribe, and here I've got this $10 charge, just message me, you guys. I am right here. I'm a human person. I am perfectly capable of going into the backside of that membership community and just giving you a reimbursement, and whatever. I'm not gonna try to abscond your money unless it's something that you are enjoying and you're really super excited about being a member. So there's that. The other thing that you can do is there are organizations and businesses located pretty much all over the place, you guys, that are called creative reuse centers is a term that I've heard used. Anybody a member of a creative reuse center? Anybody have a creative reuse center in their vicinity? My girlfriend Sandra, who's actually our community manager over in Stitcherhood, is on the board of the Austin, Texas Creative Reuse business, and it sounds like a really cool organization. They just had a big fashion show, and if you have materials that you need to get rid of that you're not sure what to do with, and you can contact a creative reuse organization that might be willing to either guide you to where you could donate those things other than the landfill, or they might be really excited about using them. And then additionally, there's another type of business that's kind of popping up here and there. And I met this great friend of mine. Her name is Catherine Swanson. And I don't know if you've been around a while, you might have met her with me. We've kind of done a couple live streams together. And she was a presenter at our summit last year, the first ever Rags to Riches Summit last April. She has a thrift store that is completely stocked full of donated fabrics and sewing stuff, sewing machines, notions, tools, fabrics. Um, Amazing. And she's actually, I found her on Instagram, oddly enough, and then realized that she is actually like really not that far from me. She lives like an hour and 15 minutes away. So I was able to actually meet her in person, and what a treat. We've become fast friends. But her business is in Turners Falls, Massachusetts, Swanson's Fabrics. If anybody's interested, swansonsfabrics.com. And she's got a great feed on TikTok and Instagram. And she takes any kind of donations of that sort of thing. So if you have, a fabric stash that someone left you and you're just never going to get to it, or it's just not your thing, Catherine would know. If you're far away, I think she would probably point you in the direction of someone more local to you. But if you're in the northeastern part of the United States, or I'm not sure how she would manage that, but she does know of a lot of other businesses that are set up like hers that take donations of fabric that is no longer needed. So that is kind of what I have to answer about what to do with textiles that are no longer wearable, that are, you want to keep them out of the landfill, but you also know that they're not going to do a lot of good in the thrift stream. Um, yeah, so does that answer your question? I'm kind of feeling like maybe I left stuff out. Um, oh, somebody's sharing here. The Legacy in Sebastopol, California is a terrific place to donate and shop. It's run by volunteers and proceeds go to the senior center. How cool is that? The Legacy. If I was out in Cali, I'd probably check that place out. Um, Somebody says, I missed that. Where is it? I think, is that um, VF Arts. I hope it's not V Farts. Sorry. So the store that I just mentioned is called Swanson's Fabrics, and it's swansonsfabrics.com. And Catherine is the proprietress there, and her store is located in Turners Falls, Massachusetts. And she also sells online. Thursday nights, she does a big drop every week. So she gets amazing stuff, and just she's the whole experience of buying from Swanson's Fabrics is like super entertaining and fun. And Catherine is fits that bill as well. So check that out. And if you're just joining, my name is Crispina French, and I am all about reducing human textile consumption and stealing our value back from all those fast fashion companies who make us think that clothing has such little value that people aren't willing to pay what it's worth, actually. And what did you know? I bet, like, I'm kind of preaching to the choir at the moment because I know you guys are all probably, into this stuff. But did you know that every single piece of clothing, your bra, your underpants, every single thing that you wear is made by a person with hands? Like, there are no machines that make finished garments. So every single thing you're wearing is made by people. And if your garment that you're wearing didn't cost very much and it was brand new when you bought it, the person who made it definitely was not paid fairly. So just think about that. Think about how you can buy what you need, and you can actually spend a little bit more on stuff, because in our culture, we've been taught over the last couple of generations to just buy stuff. Oh, that looks pretty. I like that. I'm going to buy it. Well, we might not actually need it. It might not actually be something that's going to actually enhance our lives at all. So if you just kind of think, and again, it's just if it works for you. And, I know there are people out there who just love to buy stuff, and that's, you can actually really love to buy stuff and also use this kind of methodology where you can make a commitment to buy handmade or upcycled, recycled clothing. And then, the footprint that you're creating is um, really much smaller than it would be if you were just buying things that were created new that you might not wear very much. And I'm seeing that my girlfriend Sarah Woodward Paul, are you still on, Sarah? She says, I love your sweater. And thank you. I do too. I'm so excited about my new sweater. I um oh, somebody's on here who's a friend of my daughter's at Simon's Rock. Hi, what's your name, friend of Lucy? Lucy is my daughter. She's such a sweet kid. And it's VF Arts. Cool, cool, cool. And Sarah Woodward Paul is still on. So I'm going to talk about my sweater for a moment. And it's kind of a really cool segue because this sweater is hand knitted by somebody, and I found this woman on Etsy, and her her shop is called Tasha, I think TASSSHA. There's three S's in the middle, I think. And it's a woman who knits, and her daughter is the one who's on the computer listing her stuff. Her daughter lives in England, and the woman lives in Eastern Europe. I think she's in Latvia, if I remember correctly. I actually own two of these gorgeous sweaters. Somebody make fun of me. I make sweaters. That's what I make. That's like my favorite thing to make. And then I buy really cool sweaters. So anyway, yes, this sweater was hand knitted. It cost a couple $100. I saved up for it. I think it's so worth it. It's like a really cool length. If you can see, if you're on Instagram, you might be able to see that it comes right down like halfway between my hips and my knees. So it's a really nice layer for this time of year when the weather's getting cold. There So, look for the stuff you like and really support the artists making stuff, and, take good care of your body, because when you put nice quality fabric next to your skin is healthier than when you put plastic next to your skin and your body is taking in those microplastics. So I don't want to get too like freaking like woo woo on you, because you know how I can get with the textiles. But um, let's see. So I just want to look through these comments here. Valerie, hello, Valerie, my darling. I can't wait to meet you. So let's see. I have this thing here. It says some takes any used bras, their brand or not, and upcycles parts. Now, I'm not sure. That was from somebody who I don't know if there was a previous comment. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments on my feed. So I'm not sure how, I don't know really how bras recycle. And I think that generally bras are made out of synthetic fiber. The ones I wear certainly are. I get them from Patagonia, which is kind of funny because I don't know how that, I can't reconcile the polar fleece and the Patagonia. But anyway, um, so okay, so yeah, I'm not sure about bras. There's some things that we just need to change about how we manufacture stuff, but we're not there yet, and we're just doing the best we can. So just know that if you have to throw stuff away, like that's the system that we've been using for the last couple of generations, and it's not the greatest system. It's not what we want going forward, but it is what we have right now. So don't guilt yourself out about it. Somebody asked me recently if people think I have a zero waste business, like zero waste. Like I use every single little piece of thread off my sewing machine. And let me tell you, I throw that crap in the garbage. I mean, there's shit on my floor that falls off my sewing machine. It's all dusty. I've been stepping on it with my feet. I'm rolling on it. Like, goes in the trash can. I don't know. Like, if they're big scraps that are useful for maybe somebody else, those are the things that I post on Stitcher Hood, which is my membership organization where people love to have the access to other people's scrap. So don't get too hard on yourself. Do the best you can. Love yourself kindly, right? I like to post quotes every week, you guys, and I'm going to leave you with this because I feel like I've gone over a little bit today, but there's a quote that I'm posting. I'm not sure if it posts. I schedule my social media posts, so I can't remember if it's already out there or not. But it's a post that says, it's my weekly quote, and it says, "You, yourself, more than any other being in the entire universe, deserves your love, and attention. So don't forget that. Don't be hard on yourself. We are all doing the best we can. One of the things I think makes people feel really powerful and strong and like they're doing well is when you stop blaming the negative stuff inside your head, right? Like when that starts, just say, no, thank you very much, and move into a positive light. That is what I got for you today, you guys. I hope that I hope that you have a great week, and I would love to see you back here next Tuesday. And I know that's like people tell me like, don't say that. See you next Tuesday. Anyway, come back next week, Tuesday, 2:30, Textile Alchemy live right here with me. And I hope you have a great week. Thanks, everybody.